A. Equipment and uses.
DVD, DVD player. Socket, plug, pencil sharpener, rubber, ruler, a highlighter pen.
You use a rubber to rub something out. For example, writing. You use a pencil sharpener to sharpen pencils. You use a ruler to measure something. You use a highlighter pen to highlight a word.
B. Classroom activities.
Teachers or students do these things in the classroom. Look up a word in a dictionary. Borrow someone's dictionary or rubber. Plug in the DVD player. Turn up the volume on the DVD player. Correct students' English. Teachers may ask students to do these things in the classroom. I'd like you to work with a partner. Enrique, could you swap places with Lorena? Kim, could you share your book with Petra? Repeat this sentence after me.
C. Questions about vocabulary.
What does tiny mean?
It means very small.
How do you pronounce weight?
It's pronounced wait, like wait.
How do you spell bicycle?
B-I-C-Y-C-L-E.
How do you use the word wow?
We use it to show that we think something is fantastic or surprising. For example, wow, look at that car.
Could you explain the difference between lend and give?
If you lend something to someone, they have to give it back. If you give something to them, they can keep it.
A. The school system.
This is the system for state education in most parts of England and Wales. State schools are free and operated by the country. Parents pay to send their children to private schools. Age 3. Education. Almost all children attend nursery school for up to 15 hours a week. Age 5. Everyone starts primary school. Age 11. Pupils go to secondary school. Age 16. Pupils take or do GCSE exams in up to 10 subjects. Then they can go to a college for vocational training, for example, hotel management or travel and tourism courses, or they can stay at school for 2 more years. Age 18. Pupils take A-level exams in 3 or 4 subjects, and then they can leave school and get a job, or go on to university, or go to a college for further education or training, for example, teaching or business studies.
B. The school timetable.
The school day is divided into about 5 to 7 lessons, and over the course of a week, most pupils do or study about 10 subjects, including English, maths, history, science, etc. There's usually a 1-hour lunch break and a break in the morning and afternoon as well. The school year is usually divided into 3 terms, with each term being about 13 weeks, although some schools are now having shorter terms and more frequent holidays. At the end of the school year, pupils usually take or do exams before they break up. After the summer holidays, they go back for the new school year.
C. School rules. Instructions telling you what you must or must not do.
In the past, schools generally had more rules, and if you broke the rules, you were punished. At my school, for example, pupils sometimes had to stay behind and write an essay. I used to get into trouble for wearing lipstick. I remember we had to call the male teachers Sir and female teachers Miss, and we had to wear a horrible uniform. Nowadays, the atmosphere is more relaxed. Older pupils can often dress the way they want, as long as they're reasonably smart, and the teachers are not as strict.
A. How are they getting on? What progress are they making?
This is what Nastya, an English teacher, thinks about some of her students.
Jade has a wide vocabulary and speaks very accurately, but she needs to practice her speaking more in order to become more fluent. Angel is quite fluent, but his accent is not very good. In particular, he has problems with certain consonants. Jose has no problem making himself understood, but he needs to increase his vocabulary, because at the moment it's quite basic. Olga is always willing to experiment with language. For that reason, she sometimes gets things wrong, but she learns from her mistakes, and she's making a lot of progress. Andreas is a fantastic language learner. He picks things up very quickly, and he has a good ear for language.
B. Examinations.
My students are taking the Cambridge English First exam in June, and for some of them it will be hard work. I think Angel might fail, but he's doing his best, so with a bit of luck he might pass. I expect most of the others to pass. Andreas is a strong candidate, and I'm sure he'll get a good grade. I think Jade and Olga will also do well. At the moment, I'm trying to get through the course book so that we can do some revision. I think the most important thing is to do some exam preparation. Today, I want the students to do or write an essay. Most of them still find it difficult to write accurately, so I need to work on that with them.
A. Subjects.
You can do or study these subjects at university, but not always at school. Medicine, to become a doctor. Engineering, to become an engineer. Economics, to become an economist. Business studies, to become a businessman or woman and go into business. Law, to become a lawyer. Architecture, to become an architect. Psychology, to become a psychologist.
B. Studying at university.
Some students go to university because they enjoy studying. Others just want a qualification. First, however, you have to get good grades in your final school exams to get a place at many universities. You can then study for or do a degree. If you complete the course successfully, you get your degree and receive a certificate. In the UK, most degree courses last 3 years, although some take longer, for example, medicine or law. Teachers at university are usually called lecturers, and most of the teaching is done through lectures. The most senior lecturers have the title Professor. Students doing arts subjects, for example, English or history, will spend time working in the library and writing essays. Students doing science degrees, for example, physics or chemistry, will probably spend a lot of their time working in a laboratory. Informal, lab.
C. Postgraduate degrees.
When students are doing their first degree, they are called undergraduates. When they complete their degree, they are graduates. Some graduates go on to do a master's. For example, in the UK, an MA, Master of Arts, or MSc, Master of Science. These are called postgraduate degrees. The longest one is a PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, where students do research for at least 3 years.
A. Working with your hands.
Brick. Builder. Builds or repairs homes. Wood. Carpenter. Makes things using wood. Pipes. Plumber. Installs and repairs water pipes, etc. Socket. Electrician. Installs and repairs electrical things, for example, lights. Mechanic. Repairs cars when there is a problem.
B. Professions. Jobs that need a lot of training and or education.
Job. Architect. What he or she does. Designs buildings. Lawyer. Represents people with legal problems. Engineer. Plans the building of roads, bridges, machines, etc. Accountant. Controls the financial situation of people and companies. University lecturer. Teaches in a university. For example, gives lectures.
C. The medical profession.
These people treat people or animals. GPs, dentists, and vets all work in a place called a surgery. In hospital, there are nurses who look after people and surgeons who operate on people.
D. The armed forces and the emergency services.
My son joined the army when he was 18.
Gun. Soldier. In the army. Sailor. In the navy. Pilot. In the Air Force. Police officer. In the police force. Fireman. Firefighter. In the fire brigade.
A. What do you do?
People can ask what job you do in different ways. You can answer in different ways.
What do you do?
I work in sales, or marketing, or a bank, etc.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a doctor, or hairdresser, etc.
What's your job?
I work for Union Bank, or Fiat, or Sony, etc. B. What does that involve? What do you have to do exactly?
James and Emma are business consultants. They advise people who want to set up a business, especially in health and fitness. James deals with the marketing, while Emma is responsible for products such as towels, equipment, beauty products, etc. Amy is a manager in a veterinary surgery. She runs the day-to-day business of the surgery and is in charge of a small team: 3 receptionists, an accounts manager, and a secretary. Her work involves a lot of admin, such as buying food, medicine, and equipment. She also handles any complaints that customers make.
C. Pay. Most workers are paid every month. This is called a salary. Your income is the total amount of money you receive in a year. This might be money from one job. It might be money from 2 jobs. We can express this in different ways. My income is about £25,000, or I earn or make about £25,000 a year. Some of that income you can keep, but some goes to the government. In the UK, this is called income tax. For example, I lose 20% of my income in income tax. D. Conditions. The situation in which people work or live.
Most people work fixed hours, for example 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We often call this a 9 to 5 job. Other people have to do or work overtime. Some people get paid for overtime. Others don't. Some people have good working conditions, for example nice offices, paid holidays, extra time off for a new mother and father when a baby is born, etc. There is also a minimum wage.
A. Getting a job. Finding a job.
When I left school, I applied for jobs in different companies, and finally, after sending out lots of CVs and having some interviews, a small company employed me. I didn't earn a lot, but the company gave me some training, which was good.
B. Promotion.
I worked hard, and soon I was promoted. They also gave me a good pay rise. It was really good experience, and when my boss left the company a few years later, they gave me an important promotion.
C. Resignation. When you say officially, you are leaving a job.
By my mid-20s, I was getting a bit bored and decided I wanted to work abroad. So I quit my job and started looking for jobs in the UK. After a couple of months, I got a job in London. At first, I liked it, but...
D. Unemployment. When people do not have a job.
After 6 months, I got fed up with the job. I think I was enjoying myself too much to work very hard. Finally, the company sacked me, and after that, I was unemployed for 2 months. Finally, I got a part-time job in the kitchen of a restaurant.
E. Success and retirement. The time when people stop work, often at 60 or 65.
I loved the restaurant. I learned how to cook, and 2 years later I became manager. 3 years after that, I opened my own restaurant. It was very successful, and 20 years later I owned 5 restaurants, and I was the owner of 2 hotels. I believe anyone can succeed if they work hard enough and have a little bit of luck. Last year, aged 60, I retired and went back to Italy.
A. Office equipment.
Calendar. Photocopier. Notice board. Filing cabinet. Diary. Keyboard. Calculator. Files. Rubbish bin.
B. Office work.
Josh works for a company which produces furniture. He doesn't work in the factory where the furniture is produced, but in the offices across the road. His job involves quite a lot of paperwork. He types letters to different companies, sends out invoices to customers, and sends emails. He also has to arrange visits to other companies, make appointments for his boss, and sometimes he shows visitors round the factory. Occasionally he has to attend meetings with his boss. But one of Josh's most important tasks is to organise the office party every year.
C. Office problems. Josh is having a bad day today. The photocopier has broken down, the computer isn't working, and the printer has run out of paper. On top of that, 2 of his colleagues are absent, just when there is loads of work to do. A. A successful business.
This is the story of a company that has achieved a great deal in a short period of time. Denham Farm Bakery is a family business with 3 different generations, father, son and granddaughter, of the family currently working with a team of 90 employees. The company was set up in 1991 with the aim of producing a variety of bread of the highest quality. The Denham family saw there was a growing demand for organic products in the 1990s, and they soon became experts in the field of organic bread making. The company is run from a factory in Ilminster, where the bread is baked daily and then delivered to shops across the southwest of England. The firm has expanded a great deal in the last 20 years, but it still remains a family business.
B. A view of a company.
Morgan and Stenson are a firm of accountants. They were formerly Stenson and Son, but were taken over by J.S. Morgan 5 years ago. James Morgan took up the position of senior partner, and the company changed its name to Morgan and Stenson. The headquarters of the firm are in Newcastle, but they have 5 other branches in different parts of the northeast of England. James Morgan is a former owner of a football club with many contacts in the football world, so many of his clients are footballers. Last year, the company attracted a lot of attention when it became the first firm of accountants to advertise on local TV and radio. At the time, James Morgan said it was his ambition to change the image that people have of accountants.
A. Rise and fall.
These verbs describe trends in sales, prices, etc. When sales or prices rise or go up or increase, they can do it in different ways. They can rise slightly. They can rise gradually. They can rise sharply. The opposite can also happen. Prices or sales can fall or go down or decrease slightly, gradually, or sharply. If prices don't rise or fall, they stay the same. We use certain prepositions to say by how much something rises or falls. The price has risen by 10 pence. Sales fell from 8,000 units to 6,500 units. Rise or increase and fall or decrease can also be used as nouns with certain prepositions. There's been a gradual rise in prices. We've seen a slight increase in profit. There's been a sharp fall in sales. Profits were £5 million, which is a decrease of 10%.
B. Financial language.
With the economy now improving, banks are reporting positive signs that the number of loans is increasing.
With inflation expected to rise, there are growing fears that interest rates could go up by as much as 2% next year.
Figures published yesterday show that trade between the two countries has now risen for the 5th year in a row.
Although the value of the pound fell slightly against the dollar yesterday, the news that sales rose in the last quarter has raised hopes that we may be coming out of recession.